Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. As some of you know, my parents live in a village on the side of a mountain. They moved there about 20 years ago, and because they wanted to build their own house, they had to make a dirt road leading up to their property. That road was very steep and winding, and it's been bothering me for the last 2 decades. So when I finally had enough money, I decided to get rid of it once and for all. I hired an engineering crew and told them to just pave over it. I flew out to see my parents, and we set off to look at the progress. But when I got there, I saw that they were almost finished, but there was still one small section left that hadn't been paved yet. It was right next to their driveway and around a sharp bend, and the workers said that they would finish it tomorrow. So my parents and I went home. We sat down to eat dinner, but I couldn't stop thinking about how dangerous that stretch of road was. If a car came around that bend too fast and skidded, it would go straight into my parents' driveway, and could even end up going all the way inside. I wasn't able to relax at all that night, so I got up early the next morning before anyone else was awake and headed over to the construction site. It was then that I noticed something strange. On the slope above the road, someone had put a lantern at the end of it. When I looked more closely, I realized it was an oil lamp made out of clay. It didn't look ancient or anything like that, but it did look old. The lamp was sitting on a rock with the spout facing downhill, and beneath it was a circle made out of stones. There was also a long stick stuck into the ground beside it. When I turned to leave, I noticed footprints in the mud. Whoever had placed the lamp had stepped on the soft soil and left their mark. So I followed those tracks until I reached the road. I started walking up it, and after a few minutes, I found a dirt path leading into the trees. So I parked my car where the road widened and walked into the woods. The path quickly became clear, and at first it felt like I was walking through a garden. The trees were small, and I could hear birds singing all around me. I continued deeper and deeper into the woods, and suddenly the trees opened up to reveal a clearing. In front of me was a village. At first, I thought it was abandoned. It looked like something out of a Western movie, with wooden houses and a main street running through the middle. I walked toward the center of the town and soon found myself at the foot of a large staircase. It led to a building at the top of the hill that looked like it used to be some kind of government office. I started climbing the stairs, and as I neared the top, I heard footsteps. I stopped and listened, but I couldn't tell which direction they were coming from. I hesitated for a moment, but then I kept going until I reached the top. There, in front of me, was a wide balcony with wooden pillars, and then I saw her. She was wearing a white dress, and her hair was pulled back behind her. She looked like she had just come out of the house to get some fresh air. We stared at each other for a moment, and then she spoke. "Are you here to see the moon?" she asked. I was so stunned by her sudden appearance that I could only nod. "Then follow me," she said, and walked to the far side of the balcony. She pointed to a narrow path leading between 2 houses. "That will take you down the mountain," she said. "You can watch the moon rise from there." So I thanked her and walked away. I found a spot to sit down and waited for the sun to go down. I watched as the sky slowly turned dark blue, and then I saw it. On the horizon, a bright light began to glow. It grew larger and larger until it filled the sky with its silvery glow. The light was coming from the slope where the road was being built. I looked back at the village and saw the woman standing on the balcony. She was holding the same oil lamp I had seen earlier. She walked to the edge and gently lifted it. As she did, the light from the moon shone directly into the spout of the lamp. I stared in amazement as the light illuminated her face. She was smiling, and I could see why. For many years, this woman had probably sat here alone, watching the moon. But now she had an audience. She turned and beckoned for me to come closer. I got up and started walking toward her. As I approached, I could see that she wasn't actually holding a lamp. The light was coming from within her hands. Her palms were glowing brightly, and the light poured out of them like liquid metal. I stopped a few feet away and hesitantly reached out a hand. The woman smiled again and closed her eyes. She placed her hands on top of mine, and I could feel the heat radiating from her skin. "Do you understand now?" she asked. Startled by her sudden voice, I nodded. "The moon isn't up there," she said. "It's here. It's always been here." She gestured with her head toward the road. "That's what the lamp is for. It helps us remember." I didn't say anything. I could feel the warmth from her hands seeping into my bone. It was as if she was sharing her own light with me. I knew then that I wasn't just witnessing a miracle. I was becoming part of it. "Why did you bring me here?" I asked. She smiled sadly. "Because I need your help," she said. "Our light is fading, and soon we won't be able to keep it alive." Confused, I asked, "What light? What are you talking about?" But she didn't answer. Instead, she stood up and offered me a hand. "Come," she said. "You can help us. Just let us show you." I took her hand, and she led me away from the balcony. We walked down the stairs together and onto the main street. As we walked, I could sense that the woman was afraid. Her grip on my hand tightened, and her steps became faster. She stopped in front of a small house and turned to me. "This is our secret," she whispered, "and now you're a part of it." She opened the door and disappeared inside. With a deep breath, I stepped across the threshold and entered the house. I woke up in a field of tall grass. Sunlight streamed down through the leaves of the trees, and I could hear birds chirping nearby. Confused, I sat up and looked around. Where was that house? Where was the woman? Then I remembered everything that had happened the night before. I jumped to my feet and raced in the direction of the village. As I ran, I could feel the hope that had rekindled inside of me. I was no longer afraid. I knew that I wasn't alone. As I approached the village, I saw that the houses were gone. In their place were tall trees and bushes. The path I had taken the day before was now just a trail through the woods, and the stairs leading up the hill were gone too. All that remained was the slope and the dirt road. I reached the place where I had seen the oil lamp and knelt down beside it. I picked up a stone and traced circles in the dirt. I didn't know what I was doing, but I felt a strange sense of calm wash over me. Suddenly, I heard footsteps behind me. I turned and saw the woman from the village. She was holding the oil lamp, and her eyes were shining with joy. "Did you find our secret?" she asked. I nodded, unable to speak. She smiled and handed me the lamp. "Now it's your turn," she said. And as I took the lamp, I knew what I had to do. I walked to the edge of the slope and raised the lamp toward the sky. In an instant, the world exploded in light. The trees around me burst into flames, and the sky turned black as pitch. From the corner of my eye, I saw the woman disappear into the darkness. I knew she had gone to tell the others that our secret was safe. With a loud roar, the flames consumed me, and I welcomed them. I was no longer afraid. I was the light. Many years have passed since then. I've watched the sun rise and set countless times from my home at the bottom of the slope. Every night I walk to the edge of the cliff and raise my lamp to the sky. And every night I hear the echo of laughter carried on the wind.